This month, the Google Ads housing, employment, and credit sectors were hit. There was a shift because of the Fair Housing Act. Yeah, National Fair Housing Alliance had a lawsuit with Facebook, and this had far-reaching impacts across the ad industry, and it really kind of changed the game in many ways. Facebook was sued by the NAFHA for discrimination. Facebook was blatantly discriminating. I mean, there was no way around it. Like, they were clearly doing that because you could say, exclude Hispanics, exclude African Americans from my ads. Don't show it to them. I mean, that is terrible. That is horrible. The problem here is that it's not the same on, like, Bing or Google. Google doesn't do that. I mean, Google, you can target people in the sense that you can target the zip code. You could target, like, even a mile around a place, technically. You can target income, but you can't target race. You could actually target race on Facebook. You can target age on Google and Bing. So they say that's discriminatory, but what is marketing? Marketing is targeting people for your customers, trying to find them, because if you have a very expensive product, it doesn't make sense to advertise to people that can't afford it. That's just simple math, unfortunately. And you don't want to waste money as an advertiser, as a business owner, especially small businesses that are counting pennies right now. They don't want to waste their money, by targeting people that can't afford their products. But if you're discriminating against, like, races, I totally understand. If there's malicious intent between ages, that could be a problem as well. But for the most part, I mean, I feel like if it's just income and even age, because there's a lot of industries that are really hurt by this, like senior communities, for example, can't they have to show ads to 18-year-olds. Now, how annoying is that if you're 18 to 24 and you're seeing annoying ads for senior communities in housing, credit lending, employment that don't really relate to the customer, unfortunately, and kind of hurt business? I think there needs to be some clarification on this. Facebook absolutely did something wrong. With the way you can target, it seems almost just purely discriminatory. But with Facebook and Bing, I just honestly see it as marketing. If you disagree, please share your comments below. Tell me why I'm wrong, or if this makes sense to you. As a marketer, to me, it's marketing in the sense that on Google and Bing, you have a product that's too much. Like, if you're selling a $700,000 home, you shouldn't even advertise to people that make under $60,000 a year or less or whatever, because, I mean, in all honesty, they can't afford it. Even if you count all your pennies and save up your whole life, yeah, technically, but that pool is so small, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's a stretch. I mean, don't go too far the other way. This is also business at the end of the day. So if you have an opinion, let me know. I'm curious. I want to know. I want to grow. But that's just what I think from a marketing standpoint. Hey there, so I was editing this video and realized I never explained exactly what had been done or what happened that Google blocked. So essentially on Google Ads now, if you're in the housing, credit lending, or employment sectors, you will see a restricted targeting option for certain areas in your ads. Now, this means that you're no longer able to target people based on zip code, based on age, based on marital status. So you can still do targeting based on city and radius targeting based on certain locations. You can still do audience targeting, but you are now unable to target via age, via zip code, which a lot of people might have marketing lists that are zip code based, and by marital status. So this is a big deal for the housing sector because, and credit obviously in those sectors, because they do target those people based on those demographics. I do disagree with how Google went about this. It was kind of a preemptive thing on their part to take away those sectors, but I also understand that you shouldn't discriminate. And what Facebook did was and is discrimination. So there is still a difference between that, though, and marketing. And I do think that the administration, basically the NFHA, has taken too aggressive a stance on this.
And finally, another advertisement that a lot of people don't think about are the statements made by the staff people. So if a leasing agent is talking on the telephone, or hopefully we'll get back to soon where leasing agents can take prospects on a walk around the property, in those conversations, the things that the leasing agent says to the prospect is also advertising.
Right. So there's very few things that are not advertising when it comes to any type of media. So I think that's probably a really succinct definition. Anything that is representing your community, representing the company, that is in the public space, can be considered as regulated by the Fair Housing Act. Is that pretty close, Kathy, as a fair summation?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So
I agree with that.
Okay. Cool.
Mention that the very fact of credit lender talking to a client is advertising. So they have to mention the Equal Housing Opportunity Act. Basically, every time they talk, they say it's advertising. Now that's really a push. I don't understand that. I don't think that's true. I don't think that makes sense. And that's just an example of the over-aggressive behavior of what's going on. Discrimination is absolutely wrong. I agree. But I do think that some of these measures are just too extreme for businesses. And it will hurt small businesses, unfortunately. I mean, they'll figure it out. Small business is smart. They're resilient. They can get past that. But it is a hurdle that is not really needed at this time due to so many other things that are going on for small businesses that are hurting. I just wanted to point that out, and they're going to hurt small business. Thank you for watching this video. I would love to hear your comments below on what you think about the actions taken by Google and Facebook and the NFHA. Remember, support local small business. Thanks.